Hello, everyone. This is Kerry Desberg, Chief Marketing Officer with Impartner. We make partner relationship management software, and we are lucky enough to work with top corporations around the world, from Xerox to Splunk to Fortinet to Honeywell. Don't worry, as we get to the end of this, if there's something that you know that we can do for you, we'll make room for you on this slide. Don't you worry. So it's part of our work with all these top corporations. We're lucky enough to work with top channel strategists around the world, those people who are setting headlines and who are on the stage at top channel conferences when we can actually be at those things, and who are really the people who we see by the side of these top channel chiefs as they work to really optimize the performance of their channels. So we recently formed a channel chief advisory board of channel glitterati, as we call them, and to really have a constant, steady stream of thought leadership content for customers and prospects and channel chiefs who are looking for advice on how to certainly now, not only how to survive, but thrive and scale and prosper during this crazy midterm experience. I don't think it's short term. I don't think it's long term. I don't know, this kind of dystopian midterm that we're all in. But everybody's looking for ways to really make a difference in their channel and really optimize the performance of their partner networks. And today, it's my pleasure to introduce a key member of that Channel Chief Advisory Board, Dan Overgaag. He is the Managing Director of the Spur Group. They are a top go-to-market channel strategy firm. Dan and I have known each other for quite some time, and I think this is our second pandemic era webinar. Dan, glad to be doing this with you today. Welcome, welcome. Our topic today is a big one. It really is such a critical discussion, and it's about partner journeys and really decoding those and what are the secrets to building the best journeys. Every board conversation involves the customer experience now and the customer journey. And when you sell through partners, that involves your partner experience and your partner journey. And every step along that journey dictates the success that you help deliver with your partners. So today Dan's going to break it down on the secrets to building those best. They sit on the front lines with companies like Microsoft, and they've got some great lessons to speak. And after that, I'll come back on and talk a little bit about how a partner can help you craft those journeys. We'll go from there. So without any further ado, Dan, let me turn this over to you, and let's get started. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the today's webinar. As Kerry said, my name is Dan Overgaag, and I'm the Managing Director at the Spur Group, or one of the Managing Directors, I should say. And again, thanks, Kerry, for inviting me and the entire Impartner team to participate in this webinar series. So quickly, the Spur Group is a consulting firm based in Bellevue, Washington, and as Kerry mentioned, we exclusively focus on go-to-market efficacy and primarily in the high-tech space. And as part of that go-to-market focus, we have a dedicated channel practice and channel management practice. And what I'm going to talk about today is decoding that partner journey and think about how you motivate and push partners through your programs and highlight 5 key secrets to curating and building the best journey. But first, let me set a little bit of context and talk about the changing horizons. So the technology industry has undergone massive change in the last 10 years. And in the last 9 months, we've seen much of that change accelerated from both remote work and digital transformation. And markets are demanding the removal of transactional friction and increasingly include multi-cloud, multi-vendor solutions. And you couple that with digital transformation trends, you've got just a rapidly changing ecosystem. And according to a Deloitte study, 58% of businesses are already using a combination of AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and as part of these multi-cloud, multi-vendor solutions. And vendors then need to embrace this disruption and develop automated and flexible programs that rely on self-service to manage an ecosystem that includes a set of connected partners that potentially span multiple business models. Again, according to a Forrester report, tweaking channel data management, automation, insights, onboarding, incentives, co-selling, co-marketing, all of that, by doing some small tweaks will really determine which vendors, rise to the top coming out of this COVID time. We all, of course, recognize that the partner ecosystem is changing and that markets are moving toward a more consumption and subscription-based model. But the biggest change of all actually is with our customers. Customers are looking for value-based services by partners who understand their business goals and not just their IT needs. You couple this change in customer need with a changing technology market and multi-vendor solutions. And what customers now expect from partners and vendors is drastically different than in the past. Customers are looking for their partners to be advocates of their business and helping them ensure that they see the full value out of the solutions that they purchase. So as a result then, vendor programs are consistently faced with a tale of two partners. And this change in customer need puts most companies at a point where they're actually looking at two types of partners in their ecosystem, legacy and future partners. And let's take a look at a couple of different partners, and you may even recognize these partners in your own ecosystems. Let's take partner A, for instance. This might be a recently recruited partner, and we can call them new school partner for this scenario. And where their focus is on cloud and driving adoption and driving consumption and usage and really maximizing the customer lifetime value of a solution. And chances are they're probably a smaller partner and probably a little bit limited in their focus. And what they need help on is getting traction around initial sales and developing early wins around your solution and building that that sales muscle. Juxtapose that with partner B, who might be a longtime partner, and it's one that's been in your vendor ecosystem for a number of years and has probably seen pretty consistent success throughout that. And we can call these the old school partners. These are partners that need support changing their model potentially to be focused on new solutions and workloads and need help building out the next evolution of their business to potentially be more cloud focused or consumption focused and lifetime value focused. And I know that everyone on this call understands this. So this is not a new concept. And it's universally recognized that not all partners are created equal and that partners need different things. And different things motivate partners depending on where they're at. So the question remains then, why do we lump all of our partners into a single framework, into a single program? And likewise, why do we expect our marketing to universally motivate partners? And why do we expect that all of our enablement will drive the same results across all of our partner sets? The answer, of course, is we shouldn't. We shouldn't have those expectations of our partners, and we shouldn't have that expectation of our programs. We're in a new age of channel management, and in the past, getting data on partners was hard, and getting data on our partners' customers was virtually impossible. But with today's tools, a lot of that has changed. This information empowers you to customize your offerings, track partner progress, and measure impact in a very individualized manner. And this fundamentally then changes the way that you should manage your partners. Because of this, partners should really be treated as individuals. But to do that, there are fundamental components that a vendor needs to consider in order to make that a reality. The first is a really strong understanding of your partner ecosystem, which you can do through something like a partner scoring model. At Spur, we have a model called the 5 Cs, which helps you evaluate each individual partner and gain a better understanding of who your best partners are. The second thing you need to focus on is your unique value and your unique business proposition with partners. As partners consider their relationships with you, the solution momentum, the economic upside, and their relationships with you all are really important in determining who they want to do business with. And finally, you need a partner journey that rewards and motivates partners to continue their focus and build their business around your solutions. The focus today is, of course, on this cultivating that partner journey in a way that actually treats partners as individuals and ensures their individual success. And creating that partner journey can be very complicated and can take a long time to get right, but it is doable. So let's take a look at what that journey consists of. Okay. So this is what we call the partner journey. And it all starts with getting partners interested in your solution. This is where all that partner recruitment effort comes in. Here you're trying to get them to know who you are as an organization, the solutions that you offer, have them consider your strengths and weaknesses, and get them interested in becoming a partner and becoming part of your ecosystem. Next is getting partners recruited. And this is not the actual act of recruiting, but it's really about getting them in the door and set up, onboarded, and in a position to be successful within your ecosystem. Next is getting partners activated. And it's not just about the first win, it's actually about the first set of wins. The goal here is to help partners build their sales muscle and help them understand how to sell your solutions. Your goal should be to drive an understanding of meeting customer needs and not just giving them the one win and then walking away. Remember, the value of a partner multiplies when they can be counted on to do repeat business all around your product line. The next phase is keeping partners invested or building investment around your solution. And this is one that often creates a stumbling block for vendors. Many vendors believe that this comes before activated, but at the Spur Group, we have a slightly different opinion. We believe that partners won't invest their time and money around a vendor solution until they see a positive return. So you need to demonstrate that ability first, and then partners will start investing capital and building around your solution. We'll talk more about this later on. And finally, getting partners to become devoted. This means that they're building their business around yours, and this is where you really start to get scale as an organization. And ideally, this is where you get more and more partners to matriculate to. But a good partner journey is really only as good as the program elements that surround it. Surrounding your partner journey is any number of components that make up that partner ecosystem. It's the programs that you have in place, the enablement that you've developed and cascade out to your partners. It's the relationships that you've built over time. Then how you manage those relationships and what your management structure is, the incentives you have in place for their sellers or even for the vendor themselves. It includes the marketing that you do to, through, and with partners. All of these core elements in the partner journey, motivate and influence a partner through their journey. And what I'm going to do today is share 5 secrets on how to create this effective partner journey. And it just so happens that we have 1 secret per phase. So let's talk about the first phase, interested. Secret number 1 here is related to building interest and is open up your content. You're trying to build interest, not remain mysterious or keep your program elements secret. And there's going to be an immediate instinct to protect your content, whether it's for competitive reasons or any other number of reasons. But just keep in mind that partners don't do anything blind. Before they enter into any sort of relationship, especially one as impactful to their business as who to partner with, they want to make sure that they know who you are and they know the portfolio, and they're going to do a lot of research. So enable that research and get a head start. And down at the bottom here are 3 examples of what that might look like. The first is your program details, and not just high-level details like the number of tiers, but really illustrate what success looks like for a partner. How does a partner move through the program? What are the benefits of the different tiers and the benefits of participating in a particular program? How are they ultimately going to be successful within your program? Second, share your partner business proposition. As mentioned a couple slides back, that's something important for you as a vendor to articulate and share in a way that's not marketing, but really clarifies the value that a partner will get out of your partnership. And lastly, success stories. Most vendors probably do this pretty well, but it's really important that partners see success from like partners. So make those success stories broadly available. Of course, this doesn't mean give everything away. You can still gate things and have big cost profile things such as partner account management or available incentives. Make that gated. But give away the stuff that has very little variable cost. So to build interest, go against your instincts and make your content broadly available. Secret number 2 is focus early on partner success. First impressions matter. So build on a positive first impression and build relationships that matter and are going to last. In this phase, what you want to do is really focus on that early momentum that you've gained by recruiting partners and getting them in the door. And one of the biggest changes that we've seen in the last several years is the rollout of customer success teams at most vendors. And these teams make sure that the customer's initial experience is positive and sets the tone for long-term relationships. But ask yourself, are you doing the same thing for your partners? Partners are going to be excited about joining and participating in your program, and hopefully about your solution and your product as well. So don't let that go to waste. Again, here are a couple of things to highlight as best practices to make sure that you're focusing on their early success. First, onboarding, of course. Develop strong onboarding materials, and not just onboarding materials, but make sure you've got a smooth onboarding process. Ensure that the roles and the process are well defined so that everyone who engages with partners in this onboarding process is productive, supportive, and contributing to the success of partners. Another really good tip would be to have a partner success team, as kind of recently mentioned. Many companies have them, but often they're not engaged with partners early. They're kind of a down the road thing. But last week, for example, I was on a different forum, and one of the key things that some vendors were highlighting was the success that the partner success teams had. And so, double down on that idea and make your partner success teams responsible for driving good onboarding and ensuring that your partners are positioned for long-term success. Finally, focus on getting partners that first sale. Get them over the hump and put effort into it. Again, most vendors probably do this, but it's really important to focus on early partner success in order to drive partners into the next phase. And this step is essential in making sure that partners generate positive return ultimately on your offerings. If you force people to get certified too early or generate big dollar sales too early, it may frustrate them and it won't pan out for most partners. So to get your newly recruited partners in your ecosystem, focus early on their success. So assuming you've got some early first wins, as mentioned in the secret number 2, secret number 3 is help partners find the value of your partnership. And I think the mistake that we often see vendors make is that they have a lot of great onboarding and a lot of focus on potentially those initial transaction, initial ends, but then they walk away. Avoid that by cultivating healthy partners from the start and maintaining that partner focus. Your goal for this phase should be on helping partners find the value of your partnership and show them the sustainable path to revenue. So a couple of things to be thinking about here to enable that process. First, create some sort of value model. Show them what it's going to take and how they become profitable through sustained, through their sustained practice. Highlight a partner's financial return on selling and focusing on your solution, but more importantly, show them what that return looks like over time, and make sure that you include things like incentives, investments, development funds, etc. Secondly, support their biz dev efforts and aid their financial health by giving them repetitive muscle around selling. Getting the first win is important and that's great, but it's actually the next 5, 10, 50 wins that are actually going to transform them into an invested partner. If you want to help them build that repetitive muscle, continue to show the sustainable path forward for them. And the final thing to do is engage them frequently. It's during this phase where you have a real shot of losing partners or creating a very dissatisfied relationship with them. So engage them frequently, check in on them, and make sure that they have the tools to become successful. A great test case on doing this is to look at the type of partner case studies you highlight with your partners. If they're all focused about your technology blueprint and the delivered customer value, that's great, and you want that, and you want to maintain and build those. But do you have stories that highlight how your ability to deliver partnership has been fueling channel success and partner success? And if not, you want to start pivoting toward that. It's also important not to confuse this step, helping activated with the next phase. This step is around, again, activation and building a repetitive muscle and having them understand the long-term value of you as a seller. Then once activated and as an active part of your partner ecosystem, you can then focus on creating invested partners. The not so secret here is to build a joint business plan. And the intent around this is to jointly invest in your partner's practice development. Having a joint business plan helps guide them and creates a mutual understanding of what they're and what you are contributing. And this makes you equally invested in their success and ultimately helps your partner skill up and as they grow breadth and not only depth. The reason this is so important is that companies typically won't build breadth until they start to see a financial return on their initial investments. So they're going to want to know what that sustainable path is. And once they see that, then they'll start thinking about greater and broader investment on their end. So to enable that, build out a business plan with them and be part of that solution. And let's take a look at what that might entail and some of the things that you can really do within that plan. First, build a plan that's focused on future. Focus them, yes, on revenue and pipeline, all that's important, but think about where you want them to be focusing their business in the next few years. Second, be feeding information on what's the next logical workload for them and for their customers. Where are their customers currently and what are the things that their customers are likely to buy next? They probably don't have the same set of data and resources, so review the gaps and opportunities and be feeding that information into your business plans with them. Finally, focus on your partner's business practice. As partners become invested, they're likely growing quickly and no longer a small shop. They're probably a good sized company at this point, and with that comes a lot of business challenges. So you should help them get through that, help them focus some of the business development items within, again, that joint business plan. And finally, once you have invested partners, begin thinking about how you maintain devoted partners. So how do you do this? The secret here is don't do anything dumb. At this phase, you should enjoy the scale that you've created by not taking your partners for granted. And it's so easy to just trip over ourselves. So there's no real secret here. The trick is just staying out of your own way. If you think back and you've watched your partners go through these different phases, and ideally at this point, they're probably pretty self-sustaining. Their focus areas, the direction of their business. And at this point, they will have built a business around your solution and they're devoted to you as a vendor. However, there's a couple of things that you need to watch out for. Don't take, for instance, a partner's deal direct. Avoid doing something silly like that and breaking the trust that you've worked so hard to build over the years. And you probably have really clear rules of engagement as part of your program. So lean on those and ensure that everyone abides. Ensure that everyone's aligned around how your entire ecosystem goes to market. Second, then watch for competitive poaching. This can be a challenge and partners may start looking elsewhere, especially if you do something that breaks that trust. So be careful you're not giving your partners cause. And the final thing you can do is treat them as partners, which may mean including them in roadmap activities or private preview activities. And yes, certainly continue with packs and other partner engagement opportunities, but really think of them and view them as partners and make sure that they feel, as part of your business as you are to theirs. And there's, for instance, ways to be smart about this. Some of the best companies in the industry are, paying their reps for selling partner solutions to their clients. They recognize that at a minimum, these third-party solutions make their product stickier and are likely to increase consumption of their offering. If you do all of these things right, you're going to end up with a set of really devoted partners who are going to give you incredible scale. And this is the partner nirvana. So again, don't do anything dumb. And I know the title of this webinar is 5 secrets, but we've got one more that we want to share. And so here's another one just for good measure. The 6th secret to building a really effective partner journey is ensure that all elements of your partner ecosystem are supporting the partner journey. And this is a really impactful tip and one that should really be self-evident, but we often see slip-ups around this. What you want to do here is make sure that all the elements that surround your partner journey, your programs, the enablement, the relationships you've cultivated, the incentives, the marketing, et cetera, that all of these components are structured in a way such as to move a partner down that partner journey, one phase at a time. And more concretely, that within each one of these programs, that you have support for partners across all phases of the partner journey. with the idea being that these elements are designed to focus on that particular partner phase that a partner is in and motivate them into the next. So early on in the recruited and activated stage, for instance, you might have incentives that are focused more on transaction, whereas in the invested phase, those incentives might focus more on growth or solution expansion. Excuse me. Similarly, early enablement might focus more on solution selling techniques or customer profiles, whereas more mature partners may need enablement on more specific industry scenarios. In conjunction, all of these program elements working together should create a really positive and consistent experience for partners. And the way to coordinate all this can be through really strong PRM or partner marketing tools. Like, for instance, the industry-leading Impartner solution that allows you to curate and coordinate all of these pieces by partner. But a word of caution. Yes, you want to push partners down the funnel, but don't, try to turn partners from recruited to devoted partners overnight. That's not going to happen, and that's not the point. So don't phase jump, which sounds a bit like a sci-fi movie, but for example, you don't have the scale to do joint business plans with all of your recruited partners, and they won't have the time or enough momentum to see the value. So don't focus those efforts on the recruited phase. Instead, focus on making sure that wherever a partner is in their journey, that your programs, incentives, marketing, et cetera, is customized for that particular partner wherever they're at, and is moving them purposefully and sequentially, down the next phase. Properly focused program elements that methodically support that partner journey and push partners along that funnel is the key to creating a really successful and balanced partner ecosystem. So let me quickly review. Again, these are just the 5 key tips that we would offer to a vendor that's looking to create and curate a really strong partner journey. There's obviously a lot more to it, and there's a lot of nuance. And it frankly takes a lot of work to create that level of curation. So the right tools are super helpful in doing this. But again, here are the 5 top secrets. The first is open up your content and ensure that partners have the information that they need to make an informed decision about participation in your ecosystem. The second, focus on early wins and early partner success to ensure that they're onboarded properly and have a positive first impression. The third is show them the value and show them the path to sustained revenue so that they build that repetitive muscle around your solution and workload. The fourth then is build a joint business plan and help them understand how they build a practice and a business around your solution. Fifth is making sure that you maintain devoted partners and don't do anything dumb. Stay out of your way, let partners drive scale. And the final thing again is make sure that all of your program or your partner program elements, the programs, incentives, the marketing, that they have relevancy to a partner's phase and where they're at, and are structured in such a way to support a partner's journey downward. Do this and you'll be well on your way to creating a compelling, impactful, and purposeful partner journey. So with that, I want to say thank you all very much to everyone who joined today. And it's been a pleasure to recap some of our findings and what we've seen in the industry. And now I'll turn it over to Kerry for some additional discussion. Thank you very much.
That's great, Dan, and such sage advice. The companies that we talked about that we work with at the beginning of this presentation, the companies that we see doing the best do all the things that you talk about. Across the world, when we ask in blind studies, how does Impartner help you accelerate the performance of your channel? How does Impartner help you do those things that you just talked about? I won't go through all these stats, but I will tell you that people say that they see a 32% increase in revenue in the first year of use alone, because we make it easier for people to curate their journeys and to be able to segment their partners and to really be able to take care of all of the things that you need to do to what you just said, to have a partner journey that really does set you apart from the competition. And you've said repeatedly 3 different words: curate, choreograph, purposeful, and to take that whole, to refine our ability to do that, we've actually just introduced something that more specifically goes after the need to do that, and that is Impartner's Journey Builder. We really have automated the ability to move just beyond automating transactions to being able to automate your partner journeys. If you can switch to the next slide, please, and really help companies curate every step of their partner journey. You said earlier that different partners are motivated by different things. Absolutely. And, why do we expect that our marketing programs are right for all of your partners? Absolutely, they're not. But that means that you need the ability to be able to create a different journey for everybody and make sure that everybody's on the right journey for them. So with Journey Builder, next slide, please, you really can do that. You can really understand, okay, every single partner from, when they're a new partner to the first dollar out of the box, what's the journey they should be on? Hey, is this a tool that I can use? So it's very consumerized. For those of you who are out there today and listening who are like me, I'm a marketer and I'm all about the why. I'm not the one that's going to be arguing about how native fields connect in the back, but I sure want a tool that I can use to create a journey that's really going to make the difference for every kind of partner that I have that's low touch. And it really takes that Russian roulette out of the customer experience. And I know that every step of the way, they're doing the thing that's really going to motivate them to take the next step in their relationship with me as a vendor. And by automating all that, then I have the chance to really have a more human discussion with all of my partners and really be able to focus on those strategic conversations that I really are going to move us ahead in our relationship, and not be bogged down with the admin of a program by trying to create all these experiences and handcrafting each one. I really need to be able to automate that. So we're excited about that. Dan, I so appreciate your insights. It's so right. We're so excited to be able to serve the market in this new way. And with that, let's open up for questions. I see a few out there. Our colleague Brendan is online. Brendan, where would you have us go first?
Yeah, so a couple questions came through. The first one I think is directed for Dan. It's on the, I think it was in regards to the activate slide that you had, and it said, does one company absorb the other? Who absorbs whom? Or who should it be, or should it be both that dive a bit into one another?
Yeah, it might be actually referring to the invested slide where you're starting to build practices. And, what we see is that, partners at a certain point in their growth and at a certain point in, in their business, they're going to want to start specializing and focusing more on, a couple of different solutions. And, they might start broadening from there, but they're going to really start building up their capabilities and expansion and industry plays within that. And so, partners are going to be investing, into their business around your solutions. So, I think to answer your question, it's a little bit of both. And so what a vendor should do to enable that investment is help them think through what that's going to look like. Help them think through how to best optimize that investment, how to best structure the investment, of co-marketing, potentially do a lot of co-investment on whatever it might be, co-selling things. So, there is a mutual investment, but at this point, it's really about a partner, deciding to, hedge their bets and kind of put their bet with you as a vendor organization. And so you want to really enable that and ensure that they're focusing in a way that's going to be, make sense for their business and also certainly for yours as a vendor. I think that might have been answering the question, hopefully.
Perfect. He said, thanks, great info.
Okay, perfect.
And also greetings from Chile.
That's awesome.
The second question is, if I want to get started on creating journeys, where would the best place to start be?
I can start, Kerry, and then I'll turn it over to you. So Yeah, it's a really good question. I think that, partner journeys are one of those things that you're going to develop over time. It's one of those things. It takes time to build and curate and choreograph it, as Kerry aptly put it. And so what I would recommend you do is take a look at some sort of a path and establish a path first that you want your partners to go on, and it can be modeled after the funnel slide that I showed. That's how we view the partner journey at the Spur Group. Now, certainly there might be others, and you may have your own interpretation of that. But I would, start by defining what you want your partner journey to look like, and mapping that out, and making that part of your, your program evolution that you want to start, making that ingrained, all those ecosystem elements, like I said. And the first thing I would take a look at are, frankly, incentives. Money talks, and so make sure that your incentives are supporting kind of the journey that you are looking to establish, first and foremost. Because if you're pointing somebody here and you want them to go here, or if your incentives are pointing them here but you want them to go here, well, there's no way they're going to go here. So you really need to make sure that your incentives are pointed in the right direction, and document what you want that partner journey to look like for your organization. And Kerry, you probably have some thoughts too.
First thought is I absolutely agree with you. Really starting with, what is the journey that you want your partners to be on, and how do you make sure that the digital experience that you create for them lets you get there. Really can't stress enough that automation is key. That sounds like an obvious thing for a technology vendor to say, but it's true. You just can't Etsy handcraft your way through scaling your partner program. In 2020, I almost hate to say the year, but in this era, all of us have come to expect a very individualized and consumerized experience. When we sign on to Delta or Amazon, it knows us, and your partners are really expecting that from you, because they really expect it from the experiences they have. The B2B and the B2C environments have merged, and it's possible to deliver that experience. And when you do that, you're going to get the best out of your partners. You're going to make sure that every step of the journey that they take, you take the roulette out of that. It's a very purposeful, intentional journey, and you're going to be able to outperform your competition because you're creating a better journey than the next guy, and you're making sure that, again, you've taken the roulette out of the experience, and you're really ensuring that what they do is meaningful and is going to help them drive down the funnel and build your business relationship together more powerfully.
Awesome. Last question for now is there a place where I can see a good example of a partner journey?
Slide 6. No, I think that, again, I say that jokingly, but I do believe it. I think what we've seen in our model that we use is something we've curated over time based on the clients that we work with, that the channel programs that we've seen that have been successful, and how we've seen vendor companies create really successful partner ecosystems. And this is kind of the best of all that thinking in our mind, and it is, as I mentioned, it should be considered a journey. And if you can methodically and kind of purposely move partners down that journey, it's going to be you're going to find yourself in a better position. So I would point to, I can't remember if it's 6 or 7, but that partner journey funnel as a starting point for how you should think about a partner journey. And then again, create your own that meets your business, and then create your own with the different ecosystems, elements that you have around it. But I would recommend that you use that as a starting point, if nothing else.
Perfect. Yeah, so I think we're pretty much at time here. I'd like to thank you all for joining. Dan, thank you for your insights. Thank you for your really prescriptive advice. I know everybody's really looking for breadcrumbs to follow right now. And we would love to talk to you. Dan, I know you'd love to be able to share this advice and help companies take their plans around their channel and their journeys forward. We'd certainly love to talk to you about how we can help you automate those journeys and enhance your competitive advantage. So thanks again for joining, everyone, and we'll follow up with you in email and send you a copy of this recording. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks all. Thank you, Kerry.